Hello there, YouTubers. Welcome to Backyard Astronomy. Welcome to Dreamworld Observatory. Tonight, we're finally going to get out here and we're going to do our calibration. Stick around. You might learn something with this. Okay, we're going to continue on with setup for deep sky imaging, and we are looking at number 5 under our setup telescope. We're looking at setup auto guider, and we've already done this part right here. Now remember, now that should already be done, and we've already done that. Now you would continue on whenever you did this. If you were doing it at night and you had a sky, you'd go into the calibration part. But since we didn't have a sky, we did that in the daytime, we're now going to be doing it at night. So what we've done is I've already got the telescope on, and we're ready to go with the telescope. All we need to do now is get ready and do the calibration. So let's go and see what we can do with it. Okay, here we are in PHD2. We're going to do a calibration. Now, you know you've already done the setup. Now we need to do a calibration. Now, right here is where normally, whenever you go out every night to and you have to do a calibration, you will come here and do this calibration. But first, we need to look at something to kind of pull over from the previous setup, because we didn't do this at the same time. So there's a couple things I want to show you. So let's look at the brain. Well, actually, let's go ahead and hook up our camera. We're going to hook up. Let's see. It's connect all for now, and let's go to the brain and have a look. See now over in guiding. Now we're looking at. Well, I think we're looking at my data on my other one. Let's back off a minute and go ahead and set in our camera, because I want the one we're using. Okay, we're using this one right here. We got this one in. That's all I wanted to know. It pulled it up for us. I thought I had set it on the wrong one. Okay, so we're in. This is what you're going to be using. Now, you've already set in the camera. Now what we need to do is I want to look at something here. You see this number? This number is plugged in, and it's plugged in from your this calculation. Remember these little numbers I told you that it would calculate? Now, here's what you can do. Now, while we're here, I want to make sure that this is off. Now, if you're going to be doing calibrations, you need to have this off right here when you're getting ready to do it. So let's hit calculate. Now we get this little formula thing that popped up here, and it's a little calculator that helps us solve that number right there. If you look down here, that's where that number comes from. And the way it gets it, if you look right here, this number is the focal length of your guide scope. Don't copy this. You need to put your own data in. Now, pixel size will actually come from your camera. If it doesn't, you need to put it in here. This is where you'll put it in at. You can't put it in that other slot. That's just a display shot. Because the camera will put it in here, and if it doesn't, say particularly your camera doesn't send that piece of information, you can put it in. You get it off your spec sheet. Bending should be 1. You need to leave that. Guide speed is set at 1/2. I'm going to put that at 1 because I'm going to do it that way just for the sake of doing it, because I know what my bound is. Calibration steps. Now this one right here, let me back up here. That guide speed right there is based on how many, your telescope will actually send this information, your drive will send this information to it. If it doesn't, and you know you're running cerebral speed for tracking, and you probably are, and then you need to put this in there. Calibration steps here. I think I seen a default in there one time when I was messing with this of a 9 or something like that. But you need to do a little bit more. I think you can get minimum of 6, but I would not chance that. I'd have a little bit higher. Some people try 12, well 15, But to me, that just takes too awful long when you can definitely get a calibration in 12. Because I think I'll go with 12. That's what I would put in there. Calibration declination. Now this would be probably where the height of where your star is that you're going to be working with. The eclipse up there is right 0, so if you go above it, a couple of stars above it will probably be somewhere around 9, 12 or something like that. So you probably could put 9 in here. I'll show you what it do. If we put 9 in here, and you notice the numbers changed. See this number right here, and putting this number in, it's caused this number to change to 400. Remember, it was 750. So changing these numbers can put something different. Let's see, what else could be? This right here could probably, if you put 2 in it, might do something. When you hit OK, see it change right there? But we don't want 200. We want to go back. I'm going to put something like, I think it's, I'm going to go ahead and put 12. I can't remember what it is. I can definitely find out in a minute when I get back on the other scope. This one here doesn't receive my information from the telescope as far as where it's located. We're going to leave. I'm making sure all these are correct because I just messed with them. I'm going to move that to 1 for time being because that's what we're going to run it on. You see that right there? Now this will probably make that change. You see it? It went to 400. Now, if you're not getting enough motion in the star, it fails because it's not getting into motion. That's where you would go. Change those numbers. You're not getting information from your scope. So that's how you need to do it. Now we got this on. I got that off. All right, we're ready to go. Now we've already got everything on. What we want to do is select a star. So let's go select one. And it's picked that one. Now what we want to do is, right now we want to press this. This gives, if you look at this, it says begin guiding, or let's see, it said something else. Shift click to force a calibration. Now you can actually force a calibration if you already have one in there by using shift click and doing that. So let's see if it's going to, if you look right here, it's moving right now. It tells you how far it's moved right here and how many steps it's already taken. All right, now it's going the other way. Remember, I had it set up for 12. If it doesn't give enough, it says it failed because it didn't do it as many as it's supposed to. You go back and increase that. Move that from 12 to say 15. But this is how you can tell right here. This is where it'll pop up. Now it's clearing that backlash. And now what I'm saying is, whenever you're doing a calibration after you've already set it up, this is where everything will happen right here. You don't have to go through all that other stuff. You're done. You come here, it'll do a calibration, and let's see if it's done. No, it's still going. It's nudging it south. See it moving there? It's moving it back down. Now, when it turns green, it's tracking. Now, see that star? That's what I focused on a while ago, and that's a real bright star. It has moved from over here to over there. So, but now it's now tracking, so it won't move any further. We'll be following there. It'll stay right with us. Okay, so you have done a calibration. Now, looking up here, let's see what we got going. Down at this number here, you remember the total? It's supposed to be, now we got this pretty high. So let's do something here. Let's do a guiding assistant. Guiding assistant will disable your guide output and allow the guide star to drift. Okay. So we're going to hit OK and let it do it. Now, it's going to have to run this for, I believe it's 2 minutes. Yes, it needs to run for 2 minutes. And we will get a calibration. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to tell us what we need to make changes at. This is what I was telling you before. That this is that little program I told you about that would help you set it up. It's called Guiding Assistant. And what it does is it'll go and it'll tell you which one of these numbers here that you need to change up here. You can't see them all right now, but they're behind this. And it'll help you out. Right now you see it's not guiding on that star. It's actually evaluating. It's looking at everything in your system as far as your pole alignment, drift align. It's looking at everything, and it's going to try to tell us what we need to do with it. Now, drift align is something that you've probably on a portable mount have already done. You've already done a polar line, a drift align, and all that. You've done all that. And you have to do it pretty regularly. This program does have a drift align set up in it. We may do a video on that, but it won't be involved in this particular one. All we want to do here is calibrate. Now, you've already done the calibration. Had we done the calibration and it wasn't so bad, that was kind of way over up there. So what we going to, if it comes out and it's under 1, run it. If it's over 1 and it's not windy out there, you may want to run the calibration assist and or the guidance assist and take its advice. Let's see, how far has it gone? It's gone just about as far as I want it to go. It says it's 113. I think we've gone pretty good there, so we can do, I don't want to measure backlash. We're going to do a stop. Now, you see right here, it says try to keep our exposure rates at 1.5 to 3.5. That's referring to right here. It tells me I need to be at 1. Now that could have something to do with the seeing out there. It could be a little cloudy, a little hazy. And because I normally run this at 1, so it's probably telling me that I need to turn that up. So I will turn that up when we get off of this. Now it's back to tracking right now. Now it says try the RA mem mode. Let's move this down where we can see it. The RA mem mode is right here. It says it's I'm at 0.20 and it says try setting that to 0.18. Now I can apply that. Now down here it says try the deck memo right here, and it says move that to 15.15. Okay, all you have to do is hit apply and it'll put them in there for you. Now let's see what that does. Let's see, we can stop this and see what it's doing. We'll give it some time to run. It's got to clear up there. We got something pretty erratic going on here. I do know it's off. We got clouds coming in bad tonight. I'm just trying to get something on this so we can finish. You see how it's phasing in and out? Those are probably clouds messing with us. It's still too high for me, but way too high. But you see it's staying right on it. But it's a lot of fighting going on there. Let's see what we need to look at. Well, you know, it's got it calmed down. I don't like all those motions. It says the right of session is, see, right of session is blue. So it's getting a lot of, I must have a little bit of wind out there. Okay, all you want to do is get this to follow that line right there. That is 0. So anything above it or below it is measuring. I think this line right here is 4. So I'm hitting 2. Now what we can do to let's see, I'm going to break it down to here. See, now this is what I was telling you guys, that it would make the graph bigger, and that's what will happen here. It'll start getting bigger. I don't like it that way. I like it on the other one. So now it is saying I'm going past 2. You see that? 2.73. That's what it's doing. So I usually run it on 16, and I run it right there, and I try to keep it under 1. Now, just because it's over 1 don't mean you can't run it. All it means is there is either wind or bad seeing going on. And you can run the assist again and might be able to clear it up. But other than that, that's it. That's all the calibrate. All you have to do is just say we came in here and got it all, got a telescope all on. All we have to do is come in here, and the best thing to do is pull this down up here and do a auto select star. Let the program select the star. It's starting to calm down there. You see it? Now that won't smooth straight out. It has to. You need to just watch it for a little while. Sometimes as much as 2 minutes before it'll calm down. And now if there's any wind, it'll start right back up again. Let's see what we're. See, it's already dropped. It's dropped some, not much. But it's better than what it was. I'm not going to do much more with it because I've already babied my other one. I'm not going to baby this one. We'll need to run that drift assist, drift align a little bit, and maybe the guidance assist again, and get some more information. Because see, it'll take the information that's in it now, and it will improve that. Just because you run it one time and it tells you what to try, that doesn't mean that that's going to solve it. Put in what it says, and you may have to run it a couple more times before everything is out. It's not going to give you everything in one whack. There's only a couple of spots there to make a change in. So, but it's tightening it right up there. So, now you won't. Remember, I told you you'll want to keep that correction zone because you want these bars. Those bars are the pulses that are coming in whenever this tries to move. I believe we can actually do a little bit more to this, but I'm not going to now. That's a good place for you to start. I wanted you to see you can get it right on that line, and the thing to do is play with those numbers and get it down. What I would do is run the guidance assist 2 or 3 times in a row until you get it calmed down. Okay, we're going to let that go for now. That takes care of turning on the calibration. Now remember, if you were doing a permanent mount or observatory, be sure to keep that on automatic over there, or you'll be doing this all the time. Now, even if you've got it on automatic, you can force it by hitting that. Well, I think it's shift click. Yeah, I can't remember when you highlight it. It'll tell you that you can force it just by key combination. But if you're on an observatory and you got that auto set over there, it will immediately, when you tell it select a star, it'll start tracking. It'll turn green instantly and go right on if it has a decent start. So that's a puff of wind. That's what that is. That's what's going on out there. It's a little breezy. We've been having some bad weather today. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helps you out. And we're going to let that go at that. Okay, that'll just about wrap up our videos about auto guider and the PHD2. Just remember, you need to get that that reading right down, the arc seconds right down below 1. Incidentally, I did let this run a little while, another 5 minutes, and it actually did get down to below 1, and it was actually doing pretty good. So I think a lot of, if you remember the way it looked on there, in fact you can go back and look at it, the star was kind of fuzzed out. If you'll look over to the right there where the star is actually sitting on the big graph there to the right, it is very blurred. I believe some of the clouds were coming in, and that was causing some of our problem, and a little bit of breeze. But eventually it did calm down because I was impressed. I didn't do any more settings to it, and it worked pretty good. So anyway, we're going to call that quits for now. If you like what you saw, hit like below. If you haven't subscribed before and this is your first time here, go ahead and hit subscribe and ring that little bell. That way you'll get a notification next time we post a video. So until next time, clear skies and keep looking up.